Ever wondered why project planning in construction is such a big deal? Well, let's dive into this fascinating world and unravel the mystery together. Project planning is the backbone of any construction project. It's like the blueprint of a building, laying out the design and guiding the builders on what goes where. Without it, the construction process would be akin to navigating an unfamiliar city without a map. In the bustling world of construction, project planning takes center stage. It's the process where all the necessary activities required to complete the project are identified. It's like a master checklist, ensuring that every task, no matter how big or small, is accounted for. This way, nothing slips through the cracks. But the magic doesn't stop there. With project planning, not only do we identify the activities, but we also estimate how long each activity will take. Based on factors like resource availability and physical conditions, we can predict the duration of each task. This helps to create a realistic timeline for the project, preventing any nasty surprises down the line. Now imagine a construction project as a symphony. Each activity is like a note, and project planning is the conductor, ensuring each note plays at the right time. It helps allocate resources efficiently, making sure that every task is adequately staffed and equipped. This way, the project can progress smoothly, without any unnecessary delays or hitches. In essence, project planning is the secret sauce that makes a construction project successful. It's the compass that guides the project, the clock that keeps it on schedule, and the engine that drives it forward. It ensures that every piece of the puzzle fits perfectly, creating a masterpiece that is the finished building. So, next time you marvel at a skyscraper or a well-crafted bridge, remember the critical role of project planning in bringing that structure to life. It's the unsung hero of construction, working behind the scenes to ensure everything falls into place. Understanding the importance of project planning is the first step towards successful construction projects. The first step in project planning involves identifying all the activities necessary to complete the construction project. Imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't just start hammering nails into boards without a plan, would you? Of course not. You'd need to know what needs to be done, in what order, and by whom. The same principle applies to construction projects, albeit on a much larger scale. The identification of activities is a crucial step in the project planning process. It requires a thorough understanding of the project at hand. What is the final output expected? What are the various tasks that need to be undertaken to reach the end goal? It's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece, or in this case activity, has a specific place and role in the larger picture. Some pieces might be more prominent, while others might be smaller supporting elements. But every single one is essential to complete the picture. This step requires a considerable amount of expertise and foresight. It's not just about listing out the tasks. It's about understanding how they interact with each other, what resources they require, and how they contribute to the larger goal. It's about anticipating potential challenges and planning for them. Let's say you're building a multi-story building. You'll need to plan for activities like site preparation, foundation work, framing, and so much more. Each of these activities will have sub-activities, and each of those might have its own set of sub-activities. It's like a tree branching out, with the project goal at the root, and the myriad activities as the leaves. Identifying these activities is not a one-time task. As the project progresses, new activities might emerge, and some might become irrelevant. It's a dynamic, evolving process that requires constant monitoring and updating. So the next time you're starting a project, remember this. Knowing what needs to be done is half the battle won. Identifying activities correctly sets the tone for the rest of the project planning process. Once we've identified the activities, the next step is estimating their durations. Estimating the duration of each activity is a crucial step in project planning. This is where we determine how long each task will take, based on the resources available and the physical conditions of the project. It's about looking at the bigger picture and breaking it down into manageable parts. First, let's talk about resource availability. Resources include everything from manpower and machinery to materials and money. For instance, if we have 10 workers and it takes 1 worker a day to lay 100 bricks, then we can estimate that with 10 workers we can lay 1,000 bricks in a day. Simple, right? However, it's not always that straightforward. We need to account for factors like worker efficiency, machinery breakdowns, and even weather conditions that could affect our workflow. Then, we have physical conditions. These are the physical aspects of the project that could influence the duration of activities. For instance, if we're building on a steep slope, it might take longer to lay the foundation than if we were building on flat ground. These physical conditions need to be considered right from the start to ensure we have realistic timelines. But here's the kicker, even the best laid plans can go awry. That's why we need to account for potential delays or changes in the project. Whether it's a delay in material delivery or a sudden change in design, we need to have some wiggle room in our schedule. In essence, when estimating activity durations, we're trying to predict the future. And while we can't foresee every single hiccup, we can use our knowledge and experience to make educated guesses. Remember, these are estimations, not set in stone. They are meant to guide us, to give us a roadmap to follow. But like any good traveler knows, sometimes the journey doesn't go exactly as planned, and that's okay. What's important is that we stay flexible, adapt, and continue moving forward. Accurate estimations ensure that the project stays on track and within budget. After all, a well-planned project is a successful project, and that's what we're all aiming for. With the activities identified and their durations estimated, it's time to develop an activity network. An activity network, also known as a project network, is a model that visually lays out the sequence of activities and their dependencies in a project. This model is quite akin to a roadmap, guiding us through the terrain of the project, showing us where we need to go and how we get there. Now, let's break this down a bit further. The network is composed of nodes which represent the activities and arrows which indicate the dependencies between these activities. A dependency is simply a relationship between two tasks. For instance, you can't paint a wall until it's built, right? That's a dependency. The wall building activity is dependent on the completion of the wall painting activity. Developing an activity network is like solving a complex puzzle. You're trying to fit together all the pieces, the activities, in the most efficient and logical way. And just like a puzzle, there's a certain satisfaction when everything fits together perfectly. But why do we need an activity network? Well, it helps us understand the sequence of activities, their dependencies, and the critical path. The critical path is the longest sequence of activities in a project. It's the minimum time needed to complete a project. Knowing the critical path is essential, as it helps us to manage the project effectively, identify bottlenecks and mitigate any potential delays. An activity network is not just a static model, it's a dynamic tool that evolves with the project. As the project progresses, changes might occur, and the network needs to be updated to reflect these changes. In essence, an activity network is a powerful tool in the project planning process. It provides us with a clear understanding of what needs to be done, when, and in what order. It helps us manage resources efficiently, identify potential issues, and make informed decisions. An effective activity network provides a clear roadmap for the construction project. The final step in the project planning process involves scheduling the construction project. This is the stage where all the prior planning efforts come to fruition, giving us a comprehensive timeline that orchestrates the entire project. Developing the schedule involves utilizing the activity network and estimated activity durations we've previously established. These two elements are the backbone of our schedule. They help us understand not only when each activity should start and end, but also how they connect and depend on each other. Imagine the activity network as a complex puzzle, and each activity as a piece of it. Every piece has a specific place and time in the puzzle, determined by its relationship with other pieces. The estimated duration of each activity is the size of the piece. It determines how much time that piece will occupy in our schedule. When we fit all these pieces together in logical order, the puzzle is solved and we have our project schedule. But what's the purpose of this schedule? Well, it serves as a roadmap that guides the project's progress. It tells us what needs to be done, when it should be done, and in what order. It's the master plan that everyone on the project follows, ensuring that the project moves forward smoothly and efficiently. Moreover, the schedule helps us manage resources effectively. By indicating when each activity takes place, it allows us to plan for the necessary manpower, equipment, and materials. This way, we can avoid resource bottlenecks and ensure that resources are available when and where they are needed. In essence, the schedule is the heartbeat of the construction project. It keeps the project alive, moving, and organized. It's the tool that helps us translate our planning efforts into tangible results, ensuring that the project is delivered on time, within budget, and to the desired quality. With a well-planned schedule, the construction project is set up for success. It's the culmination of the project planning process, turning our vision into a reality and our plans into actions. To sum up, Project planning in construction is a multi-step process that is critical for project success. It starts with the identification of activities necessary to complete the project. Every brick to be laid, every pipe to be fitted, every wire to be connected is meticulously accounted for. Next, we estimate the duration of each activity, considering our resource availability and the physical conditions at the construction site. This step sets the pace for our project, allowing us to anticipate potential delays and strategize accordingly. The third step is developing an activity network. This is where we establish the logical relationships between activities, understanding which tasks depend on others, and mapping out the most effective sequence of work. Finally, we schedule the construction project. Using our activity network and estimated durations, we create a timeline for the project, setting clear goals for our team. Remember, successful construction projects don't just happen, they are the result of careful and thorough project planning.